my brother. Okay, my sister. Okay, my fellow human being. Thank you for arriving at this channel with a smile because you know what's about to happen. It's Tukoriada, the community of Tukoriadonas. It's fresh, it's cold, it's chilly, it's snowing in some parts of America, maybe Europe. But I'm speaking from this angle of, or this land spot of Northwest, my friend. It's been chilly. It's been very cold. So if you see how I'm dressed and I'm inside, that tells you everything you need to know about the weather. Well, since I'm not a weatherman, I love sports. Chelsea, my friend, we couldn't keep a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, even though we're one man down. What's up with that? Mistakes in the back cost us one goal, but we win. We'll take three. But yeah, we can always clean up that back line. It looks confused. Go Blues, Londoners, we win again. Talking of winners, Cooper Lukenhaus, the young man, he's 17, a 145 indoor opener as a professional Nike athlete. My man, my dude, the man, the future looks good for this young man, a good opener for him. He didn't care for the rabbit. I think he would have been more patient and finished stronger, but he's learning. At 51, a 145 for indoor debut for Cooper Lukenhaus. Look out! Here comes a 17-year-old young man. He had a great year, let's face it. Making the World Championship fell short in Tokyo, but the future looks bright. He's a strong runner. He looks like he is establishing himself as one of the great at his age. Stay healthy, stay put. We're keeping an eye on Cooper, my man. Hey, be patient with this 17-year-old dude. Things are looking great. And this weekend was incredible. There's a resurgence in the middle distance runners and the crop of American athletes that is worth watching. Remember last year how the American dominated indoor world record with Yared Neguse in the mile 4:46. Then it went down with Jacob Engliston a week or 10 days later. Grant Fisher in the 5K. Cole Hawker just throwing himself into the fray. Last year was American resurgence. It's a good thing. They fell short in the World Championship, kind of surprising. But I think if you watch some of my episodes, I always wonder whether people pick up too soon. And then, there's outdoor that can be long and they can grind it along and then they don't pick up again for the outdoor season. That happens to some of them, including Yaron Negusa in the mile. Grant Fisher didn't do very well in the World Championship. And then here we go. They seem to pick up where they left off. They are just not slowing down, these American athletes. Grant Fisher 2K last week or a few days ago. He comes back here in New Balance, Boston. And they go at it again with Ops Kessler. 448 in 2K indoor. My word, Hops is not hoppling. S. Kessler is not goofing around. There's one thing you have to watch in some of these races that are phenomenal to me. I think either the training, the coaches, or science, or both, or mental fortitude has just picked up a notch. I was watching that 2K, which has stood since 2007 with Kenenisa Bekele, the Ethiopian, the legend. And it was crashed in a very special way. These guys were doing it. Grant Fisher tried to push that pace. But there's one thing you notice that Hobbs Kessler, speaking at the end, of course, we catch why he did what he did. It was a phenomenal race. It's very unconventional, by the way. 2K is very unusual event. You don't hear a lot of 2K, maybe 1K, but 2K is special. But special it was in this indoor season. And to watch this Hobbs Kessler hit that back straight and just explode and wins in 4:48. He talks about something that I've never heard from an athlete, revealing the tactics and what the coaches tell them. Let me read to you something that was very interesting. I've been a coach for a while, but this is what I find. It was revolutionary to me. So last year, if you remember, he had a horrible season. He didn't make it the World Championship, fell short in the national trials. And he talks about that he got a lot of help from his teammates, people he's been training with. His coach, Pat Henna. Let's mention the coaches here, my friend. It's not just about the athletes. Speaking to NBC, I leaned in just to hear what he was saying after the race. He was being interviewed, and he talks of it. He was being asked what was that in the back straight when he had Grant Fisher in his sight and went for the throat. What did he do? Let me tell you what he did. The last lap was at 26. That's quick indoor, my friend. 26, the last 200 is an explosion of power and speed. Wow. They even cut it down and gave us a 13 seconds final at 100 meters. And I don't know, look at these guys. They're saying that came despite the pacing lights being set incorrectly, forcing him through the opening lap in a 56.62. 56.62? Are you nuts? My word. And then people are saying if he had kept that pace, he would have gone 4:43. Of course, he went 4:48 for the 2K finally. But this is what I'm trying to read to you guys. This is quite interesting. You know, catching the mind of a winner, a world record holder in 2K, Kessler. He said, were people asking, what was that you put on Grant? You didn't you didn't grant him any grace, being a world champion at one point, or a great athlete as Grant Fisher has been. He says, I went for his throw because that's a skill my coach and I have been working on. What skill are you talking about? That's the question. And this is what he says. He says, don't squeeze, explode. I think I'd gotten in. I think I'd gotten in my own head, squeeze it, trying to control the effort. It's like, screw that, the coach must have told him. Punch it. So that's what I tried to do. I don't worry about the last 30 meters. And then he continues, I think I've had the physical capabilities, but running fast when you're tired is a skill. And that's something I kind of lost that I had to relearn. He talks of being disappointed, of course, last year and all that. But I think this is one thing I really appreciate about athletes telling us what is going on in their mind. Because some of the times we are watching somebody running, but what is it that makes you just separate yourself from, being back of the pack and just exploding to that winning podium? The idea of squeezing it, the idea of exploding, those are two paradigms that I kind of want to lean in and listen to what he's talking about. Because if you've noticed, I don't know if you haven't been an athlete, when you are tired, there's one place you can go. They call it the mind. And the mind will tell you, some people you see passing an athlete in the stop. When he passed Grant Fisher in the back, he didn't just pass him. He exploded. He didn't just squeeze it. He didn't milk it. He just let it go. It was an uppercut, a jab, and a go. I think that is a new way of looking at it when you think about how you win. And maybe I'm coaching here for a moment if you are my subscriber or you like this show. There's one thing when you're tired, things shut down. They can start shutting down from the hamstring, your back, your muscles are fatigued. But this one is the last call. The last call is, where is the mind? He talks of exploding. Don't just be tenderly or massaging the explosion. Punch it. Let's go from zero to whatever. And I think for me to hear that was very refreshing. I appreciate when athletes tell us what's going on in the mind and what they've struggled and what they've learned. Well done, Kessler. What did I call him? Hessler? He's a hustler now? Talking of hustlers, no, he's not. He's a winner. Talking of winners, let's just go to the event. That was the weekend event because 2K, as I told you, is unconventional. The world doesn't really recognize 2K. It's a very unusual event. So Kessler winning, breaking the world record 4:48. It's been around since 2007. It tells you it's a record, okay, we'll give it to him. And by the way, it was a 4:52 before this weekend. And so it's just been an American. A 4:52 was the American record. Now it's a 4:48. Anyway, let's get away from Kessler, the winner, and his explosive powers and winning that. Let's talk about the 800, which is the ultimate event. Okay, this is why I have the placards or pictures of the Cooper's 145 winner. Josh Hoey has been the punching bag since he left his coach Justin Rinaldi, the Australian. You can check my episodes. I gave him all the barbs. I was very hard on him. I thought it was the worst poo-poo move you can ever make, leaving your coach that has guided you from 147 to 142, 140, whatever in outdoor. So we were trying to talk of the coach being great. And I think Rinaldi as a coach is still great. And some of us were asking, why divorce him now? Why let him go of your coach who has guided you thus far? Now we are finding out it's becoming a family affair. These guys like, I don't need a coach from outside. Let's do it inside the house. So his brother guided him today in rabbiting the 800 meters to a 142.50 from a 142.67. That was something to watch, my friend. 60, 26, 50, 116, 142.5. This young man, I think, is telling us something, he's showing us something. He's a strong, powerful athlete. A 142 indoor right now, after breaking the 600-meter world record, when did he do that? In December? Yeah, December last year. And now he's running 142. He went 112 for 600 last year, if I remember correctly. The sixth, I remember. Yep, Josh Hoey. Watching him and his brother doing it in a field that was just him and himself and the clock. That's how refreshing it was to watch that. And I think we have to appreciate something when you see it. When a family, a brother and a brother are doing it, it's a very unusual. You don't see that rather often. And to see him doing it and crediting the family is a new phenomenon. Is a new admiration for families who train hard, they train together, they support each other, and they pace one another to this kind of realm that we haven't seen. 142.50 for Josh Hoey. What else can we say? Does he need a coach? Or he can just do it as he's doing it? We don't know who is coaching him now. What we know is a new world record holder that was held by Wilson Kipketer since 1997. 30 years ago. I won't compare the two races. I won't do that. It's unfair. Because let me tell you why. If you haven't watched the two, you can have two screens. Watch Wilson Kipketer and Josh Hoey. Wilson Kipketer in 1997 took it out in a 24. Came back 116. He came back. No, he went 24, 26, which is 50 in the fast 400. 116, 142.67. Right here is almost the same, but he got help. That's the difference. Wilson Kipketer took it out. It was a front-running world record event that he controlled it from the front. And the gap and the field was nowhere to be seen. Watch it. I just watched the clip just before I got here. This one, in this one that Josh Howe did, there were only 4 athletes, barely doing anything. It was him and his brother. Special, I'll give him that. Special events, world records going down, special people, special era. Wilson Kipketer, no more records for him to talk about, but he's a legend in his own way. And here comes the new crop, Josh Howe, with his brother and his family doing it in the 800 meters indoor. Wow, the future looks good in the 800, my friend. It looks great. Will Emmanuel Wanyonyi even try indoor? I don't know. Because World Championship is coming up in Poland. Will we be able to see Emmanuel Wanyonyi versus Josh Howe at 142.50 right now? That would be a duo. That would be a battle for who is who. I don't think Wanyonyi is an indoor guy. I haven't never seen him, but we always say never until we see them. Bravo to Josh Howe. Let's not talk about coaching again and what he did, the decision he made. He had a right to do it. It's all about what you do after. And he did it. 142.50. Does he have a 141? Does he even have a world record? That's the conversation always. But I have to give America their love, my friend. They just, as I said, they are keeping up this pace. This is a year of no championship, nothing to do. This ultimate championship coming up. It's a 3-day event in Budapest, I think. It has something to do with these guys. Maybe some of them will go, some of them might not. But if it's the year for world records, men are setting the tone. Men are doing it. They did it last year, by the way, Indo. Americans, from I said, the mile, the 5K, 1244, the Grand Fisher, and all that stuff. America, the land of explosion, with Kessler exploding to 448 and Josh Hoey telling Wilson Kipketer, it was nice meeting you 30 years ago. I don't think he was even born when Wilson Kipketer broke the 142.67 back in 30 years ago. This guy is not even 30. My man, things are changing and they are changing quick. And we, the dinosaurs, the people from the antiquity, are celebrating the weekend that was. 2K, gone. 800 meters, gone. Cooper is doing his thing as a young 17 145. More to come, my friend. Subscribe, like, talk about it. Give me your comments. What did you see? Refreshing stuff. 800 meters, 2K. Maybe the mile will go down again this year. We haven't heard from Jacob Engwiston yet. You know he doesn't like those records being checked. He's going to come back and says, I got the last word from Oslo. Talk to you later, my friend. It's me. Subscribe, like, be my friend, be my whatever. Join the community. Talk to you later, my friend. Bye.